The maintenance tip is brought to you by Roswell Trailers.
Slide-on campers have become a popular option with caravanners, and without the requirement for registration, you still get all the luxury without the dreaded rego renewal. Now today we're going to have a look at how we securely fit one of these to our vehicle, and as always Danny is here to talk us through. So Danny, where do I start?
Well, first of all, what we have to do is raise the camper up to the desired height, just a little bit higher than the vehicle's tray. You notice we have this particular camper on the trolley. Some customers may prefer to have one of those to roll it around their garage or something like that. Some may not, but either way you have to raise the camper up to the desired height, which you can do with that remote control.
Okay, should I do that now?
Yeah, you can do it. Just press up.
So this is just bringing the legs down?
That's correct.
So it will just obviously increase the height.
Once you get it to about that height, you should really have a vehicle close to it, so you don't want to go too high without having the need for it. So we'll get the vehicle, I'll reverse the vehicle close to it, and then we can adjust it as much as we need up or down.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we've got the vehicle in place. What's next?
Well, now we can lower the camper right down into the tray just by pressing a button on that remote control. Just keep going all the way down until the camper securely sits in the tray.
Rightio, we've lowered it down. How do we secure it?
Well, in this case, we're going to use this device here. Well, they're called fast gun, and there's a reason for it. They're extremely fast to fit on. You simply hook it onto the hand and on the top in here. Clip it on. Put a safety pin on it, and she's ready to go.
That's it?
That's it. Obviously, you've got to do all four corners, but that's it.
Okay, and is this back one a little bit different?
The back one's basically the same. We use different things on them, but you still got to clip it on. That's it, she's ready to go.
Fantastic. Now, is there any sort of padding or anything we should put down?
No, you don't have to put any padding or anything like that, because the our camper comes with a rubber bumper stoppers at the front, which means once you hit the front wall, it doesn't lean against the wall itself. Well, the camper itself has the bumpers that sit against the wall, and the camper doesn't touch the rest of the cab. There's a little lip in the front that you probably can see. There's a bit of a gap in here. Still?
And these legs here, do they detach, or are they okay to leave them on?
They're quite all right to leave on. However, if somebody wants to get a bit adventurous and take it a little bit off-road or something like that, and they found they're going to go up and down a little bit, some crevices or ditches or whatever, they can quite easily just unplug the jack, take a couple of bolts off, and take it completely off the vehicle without any problems at all. So
these obviously weigh a little bit, so we need a particular vehicle to be able to fit them to?
Yeah, well, look, there's a vehicle for every camper. There's a camper for every vehicle. It depends how you want to sort of put it. Like, for example, for Nissan Navara that we have in here, we're using this 7 series model, which is 7 feet in length. That's probably about the maximum you can put on here. It's 2.1 meters and a little bit over. This camper weighs about 660 kilos. Vehicles can carry about 820. You wouldn't really want to go any heavy on the camper at all. By the time you put all your gear in and all that sort of stuff, you'll be probably about the maximum.
Okay, well, thanks for that advice. It all looks much easier than I expected, so that's always a good thing, and it's probably a good option for people that don't want to actually be towing a caravan.
Well, that's right, but at the same time, it gives an option to somebody that wants to tow a boat a little bit larger than the one you can put on the top of the car. And that's most certainly a good option for me anyway.
Well, I might even get myself one. It all looks very simple. So make sure you join us again next time for more safety and maintenance tips here with the one and only Danny.
Well, we have literally just got off the Curtis Endeavour and I've still got my sea legs, so we thought we'd come down to the Gladstone Maritime Museum. Very inspiring place, full of history and relics and wonderful things from the sea. To see Rod and the boys, to see what's under the sea. Yeah. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
What an amazing place to work.
It is. It's we really think a lot of the museum itself there, and we've come a long way in the 22 years we've been here and out there, and the amount of items we have is really awe-inspiring, really.
Do you know how many there are?
We couldn't say. We try to list everything we've had, and it's many thousands of items and that there, but I just can't give you there. We have a lot of items in storage, so believe it or not, we change our displays around from time to time and give it a new look, so if people come back from time to time, they'll see something different.
Now, Rod, this room is a really special room. It's the wreck room. Tell us all about this amazing place.
Right, in this here are many items and wrecks from local areas. One in particular I'd like to tell you about right away is the Nautilus.
Okay.
Now the Nautilus itself is a very interesting one there. There's the vessel up there. It's an early coaster, and in 1928 it got damaged in Mackay Harbour and was being taken back to Brisbane for repairs. They couldn't repair it in Mackay Harbour, and in heavy weather it broke loose and was last seen floating away, almost submerged, and it obviously went down. History has then forgotten about it till about 5 years ago when the Navy found it.
And this is a porthole from the Nautilus.
That there is a porthole. Our divers, when they dived on the wreck, when the wreck was found, they found there. They still didn't know what vessel it was. We didn't know what vessel it was. We did our research, reasoned it was the Nautilus, and it wasn't until our divers went down again and came up with the bell.
I can only imagine what it looked like when it came to the surface.
That's right, the bell itself was completely covered in coral growth and that there, and we were very anxious to see whether it did tell us the name of the vessel, and after the coral was chipped off it, most certainly it came up with the name Nautilus on there. Not only that, it told us that the name was had inlaid and it was coloured with black, and that's the way that we've repaired the bell and put it on display now.
The region is steeped in maritime history that has been steadily building before and since Captain James Cook sailed the HMAS Endeavour along the Discovery Coast in 1770 and landed at Round Hill Inlet before sailing north towards Port Curtis. 32 years later, English explorer Matthew Flinders' circumnavigation of Australia aboard the HMAS Investigator put Gladstone firmly on the chart.
Yes, and this is the man. He was the one that named us all, and we believe is probably more important to Gladstone than what Cook was.
Lieutenant Matthew Flinders.
Lieutenant Matthew Flinders in those days, he only had the one thing on there.
Oh, yeah. Right, yes, one epaulette.
One epaulette. In those days, there was only a lowly lieutenant.
The HMAS is docked in the harbour to this very day and is well worth a look if you get a chance on your trip. Gladstone Maritime Museum's displays focus on, but are not limited to, the maritime history of the Curtis Coast and the Capricorn Bunker Coral Islands. Now, Lindsay, Jenny is looking exceptionally good for her age.
Most definitely. She would need to be. She's 160 years of age.
I tell you, when I'm that old, I want to look that good.
No, we were very fortunate to be able to get Jenny. Things like figureheads off vessels now are as scarce as hen's teeth, so we were very lucky with this one.
And what boat has she come? What vessel?
She come off a vessel called the Jenny Lind, and it's actually named after a real woman. She was a Swedish opera singer called Jenny Lind, and we believe there was at least 4 vessels that were named Jenny Lind, and this is one of the vessels, and it got wrecked just off the coast here. What happened was that when it got wrecked in 1850, the figurehead, believe it or not, got washed towards the shore into a cave that was just on. It's one of the caves that the opening is just on the water line, and is only open so anybody can get in there at low tide. And it got washed into that cave in 1850, and it sat in that cave for just over 100 years.
The museum is totally dependent on volunteers, and the attention to detail that each and every one of them applies is absolutely incredible. So this is the your library? Library
and research area. This is an area we're quite proud of there, Peter. We're very happy. Lots of people use it. We've had authors come in here for many days researching their subject and that sort of stuff for books and that there. And people from universities do come in here from time to time there. We're very proud of that. We've got some really interesting books. Got too many books, but we've got some very interesting books there. So with some of the books there, I've given you some light reading here. You can polish that off there. But I tell you what, I think we might get you a cup of tea to go with those books.
Yes.
because we offer everybody that comes into the museum free tea and coffee and biscuits and that type of thing there. So it's part of our thing for our guests that do come to our museum.
The collection in this museum really is astounding, so be sure to leave lots of time to do it properly and soak up the boys' genuine hospitality and passion for all things in, on and under the sea historically.
Thanks, guys. I had a great time. See you again.
Here, Peter, you forgot the main things here. Hey. And a little bit more reading. There we go.
Okay.
That's the most important part.
My fishing book. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'll see you in a couple of months.
This is a lovely spot. The locals love the Reg Tanner Park.
I'm so glad we stopped here. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Ducks and also little turtles. They bob their heads up. And then there we go. Look,
They're
there's a couple
adorable.
over there sticking their head
Look
up.
at this pure white one here. Aren't you gorgeous? Come here,
It's
sunshine.
lovely. So have you had a good time in Gladstone?
Oh, once again, I don't want to go. I've fallen in love with Gladstone. But you know what? It's that time where we have to hit the road again. But I've got to say, having come to Gladstone, knowing very, very well that it is an industrial town, I've been absolutely gobsmacked.
It's surprising,
so
isn't
much
it?
to do.
Yeah.
You know, wonderful waterways, been out to the islands, had some fantastic fishing.
Yes, I
And
know.
some fantastic shopping as well.
Oh, but of course.
Next week, we're heading further north to the stunning Capricorn coast.
From crocodiles to caves.
And pottery to tea tree. Make sure you join us as the adventure continues. We had a bet.
Well, we did. We did. You got change, mate?
$10. You add 40 to that and
Well,
make
it's $5,
it 50.
you know,
I don't want to
come
talk
on.
about
That
change.
was $5. That was the deal. Exactly.
No change. Can't believe you worked on your deal.
This show was brought to you by Telvor Motorhomes, ARB 4x4 accessories, and proudly supported by Caravan in Queensland.